I'm guessing that you've all heard the stories concerning identical twins or even triplets, when they say that they can feel when something happens to their siblings, even when they're not together. Well, I'm here to tell you that these feelings can be far more bizarre than just simply knowing that something has happened to your sibling. My name is Joyce, my identical sister's name is Rachael, and for years we've experienced some pretty dramatic things. Like the time when I was knocked down by a car. I was told that at that very moment, Rachael fell over in the school hallway, and she swears to this day that it felt as if something had pushed her over. Needless to say, the car accident wasn't a serious incident, but it does illustrate my point. We've also suffered toothaches at the same time, and once the tooth had been removed, the pain had vanished. Now, this story doesn't concern the small things that happen to siblings, but rather the inexplicable ones that simply can't be explained away as sympathy pains or subconscious leanings. We'd both turned 19, and when the accident happened, we were together. We were sitting on the back porch, watching the heavy rainfall, when lightning struck the ground in front of us. The close strike threw us back against the door of the house. Our bodies felt as if thousands of pinpricks were penetrating our skin, but thankfully, it was not a deadly encounter with nature. We vowed that day that we would always stay indoors whenever there was a thunderstorm. We didn't know it at the time, but that freak accident had changed us in very weird ways. We wouldn't find out about this change until 6 months later, when my sister had a date take her to a party. I told her to be careful, and if she needed me, that she was to call. Anyway, I was lying on my bed and reading a book when my phone rang. An excited Rachael was on the line, and she simply had to tell me the news about something she found out that night. It turns out that her boyfriend was a bit of a jerk, and that some of the girls warned her about him. She knew some of them, so she took their warning seriously. I told her that it was good to find these things out early, as opposed to much later when you've gotten attached or done things together you wish you hadn't. Anyway, it turned out that that wasn't the only reason she was calling me. Apparently, she was introduced to a young woman around her own age, and that this young woman was a futanari. I actually knew what that was, as I'd read about it, but I didn't believe my sister for a second. Then Rachael told me that she didn't believe it either, but that this young woman had proved it to her by showing the evidence in the bathroom. That is what was exciting Rachael so much, and then she went on to tell me it was frigging huge. The futanari told her that if she wanted it, to just let her know. I asked Rachael how she responded, and that's when Rachael told me she left the young woman without answering her and proceeded to call me. I told her to go for it. I mean, a cock is a cock, even if it is on another woman. She agreed and told me that she'd let me know what happened later that night. Little did she know that she wasn't going to have to let me know anything about what was going to happen. When I put the phone down again, I went straight back to my book and found it starting to get a bit heated. I always enjoyed good sex in a romance story, and this one was the best. It must have been 30 minutes later when it happened.